What's up guys, Phoenix here. This video we're going to be talking about two new cards spoiled for release in the OCG's Invasion of Venom pack, the set that comes out after the Dark Illusions, which means we should be getting it sometime around October or November of this year. But the two cards we're going to be talking about today are two cards that really go hand in hand with each other, so I felt like it was just smart to include them in one video together. And that is, one, the upgraded version of Dark Rebellion XYZ Dragon, i.e. Dark Requiem XYZ Dragon. I really like that name actually. And the rank up magic card that is intended to be what you use to summon it. Now you can use other rank up magic cards, you can make it with 3 level 5s, you can do all these different sorts of things, summoning methods, but the card that is intended to be used with it is the rank up magic, the Phantom Knights of Launch. Now that card's actually really cool as well because its name specifically says the Phantom Knights, meaning that it is both searchable off Ancient Cloak because Ancient Cloak searches a the Phantom Knights card, and Silent Boots searches a Phantom Knights spell or trap, so it is both searchable off Silent Boots and Ancient Cloaks. That's actually really cool, and that's why I believe that it's fully intended that that's supposed to be used with Dark Rebellion XYZ Dragon, as well as the whole Phantom Knight deck, simply because it's meant to work with that one specifically. But anyway, Dark Requiem XYZ Dragon, the upgraded form of Dark Rebellion. So upgrading on top of Dark Rebellion, what do you think you're going to get? Now, honestly, I think this card is actually very, very good in terms of how it was designed and what it actually does in terms of its field presence. It's actually something that's actually kind of relevant in terms of what it actually does. But anyway, Dark Requiem XYZ Dragon is a rank 5 Dark Dragon type XYZ effect monster with 3,000 attack and 2,500 defense. Normally it would take 3 level 5 monsters, or you can just rank up on top of Dark Rebellion XYZ Dragon, which is honestly the preferred method. But its first effect is, if this card has Dark Rebellion XYZ Dragon as an XYZ material, it gains the following effects. Once per turn, you can detach one XYZ material from this card, then target one face-up monster your opponent controls. Its attack becomes 0, and if it does, this card gains attack equal to that monster's original attack. So, basically, it's basically an upgraded version of Dark Rebellion's effect to lower their monster's attack and then raise its own. Except that this thing just makes it outright 0, and then Requiem gains the original attack of the monster. So it doesn't matter what this monster's current attack was, it just gains the original printed attack of the card, or whatever stat modification would have made its original attack become something. It gains that. But its other effect is, during either player's turn, when an opponent's monster effect activates, you can detach one XYZ material from this card, negate that activation, and if you do, destroy it. Then you can special summon one XYZ monster from your graveyard. That one is actually really cool, because if you have summoned Dark Rebellion XYZ Dragon the proper way through an XYZ summon method, and you have it as an XYZ material under this card, if your opponent activates any monster effect anywhere, you can detach Dark Rebellion XYZ Dragon and then special summon it back to the field while negating and destroying that monster effect. So this is a rank 5, sort of Dark Lady-esque card that actually further contributes to your board state, but also in the Phantom Knight deck, if you play it there, you're able to bring back stuff like Breaksword, which is actually really cool as well because that floats when it dies. All these sort of little nifty interactions come into play with this card being an added feature to that potential deck, as well as any deck that's going to be using Dark Rebellion and the Phantom Knight cards, essentially. But honestly, both of these effects are actually just really good. The fact that you're able to access some form of effect negation in the extra deck with the Phantom Knights deck is actually really cool and really huge. And the fact that your rank up spell is actually searchable to allow you to get into these effects is actually really good as well. I think this card is actually very good, and the fact that it just works very well with the whole theme, while also being exactly what the theme needed to have another boss monster on top of Dark Rebellion and Breaksword, is actually just really, really good and really, really cool. But the rank up spell card, rank up magic, the Phantom Knights of Launch. As I've already said, this card is searchable by both Ancient Cloak and Silent Boots because of the way its name is worded currently as we have it. It is called the Phantom Knights because Ancient Cloak searches a the Phantom Knights card, so that normally is only the monsters, and only a select handful of the spells and traps are the Phantom Knights, and that's why Ancient Cloak can search them. And Silent Boots searches a Phantom Knights spell or trap, which this is. So it's searchable by both cards, which is actually very, very cool. The fact that this card is a rank up magic that is a quick play spell and so heavily accessible is actually just really, really neat in terms of what the deck needs in order to further evolve into maybe something different and have a different sort of angle going for it. But anyway, rank up magic, the Phantom Knights of Launch, quick play spell card. And it has 2 different effects. First effect is, during either player's main phase, target one Dark XYZ monster that has no XYZ materials that you control. Special summon one Dark XYZ monster from your extra deck that is 1 rank higher than the targeted monster's by using the targeted monster as an Xyz material. This special summon is treated as an Xyz summon, and if you do, attach this card to it as an Xyz material. So, main function, Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragon, summon it, detach 2 materials, lower something, and then you can play this on top of that. It's a quick play spell, so you're able to do it in the battle phase as well, so you can already attack with like Dark Rebellion's boosted stat, and then make Dark Requiem. It's very, very much a possibility for that to be done. And that's actually what's really neat, is the fact that it's a quick play, meaning it gives you more battle tactics for that deck. I like decks that specifically have many, many battle tactics, because that actually adds another layer and depth to that deck's overall strategy, as well as a lot of intricacies that you're able to exploit or mess up with. But the fact that it has to be a Dark Xyz monster that has no Xyz materials means that it can be done with a Break Sword that is floated back, although you're going to have to summon a Dark Xyz monster, but that does open you up to like stuff like Master Key Beetle, Evil Swarm Nightmare, stuff like that. You are still, available of doing those. I mean, you obviously wouldn't want to put Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragon on top of a Break Sword with no materials, because Dark Rebellion needs 2 materials to activate its effect. So stuff like that is going to be what makes this card actually really good, is the fact that it's not locking you into one specific option, because that option could be subpar at times. But then its second effect is during your main phase, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one Dark Xyz monster you control. Attach one the Phantom Knights monster from your hand to that monster as an Xyz material. So this card can banish itself from grave and attach Phantom Knight cards from your hand to a monster as an additional Xyz material. Thus giving you ways to potentially refuel Break Sword with more materials if you bring it back off the trap, if you bring it back off of Dark Requiem, all these different sorts of things. And it should be noted that you can use that effect during the main phase, even the turn the card was sent to the graveyard. Most of these cards that have effects like this have effects that say you can't use this the turn it was sent to the graveyard, but this one you can. So specifically, you could rank up in theory on a Rebellion Dragon into Dark Requiem, and then use Dark Requiem's effect and negate a monster effect, bringing back Break Sword, and then during the very, very same turn, you could then use this effect from grave, banishing it, attaching a Phantom Knights monster from your hand to Break Sword as a material, and then using Break Sword's Scrap Dragon effect, floating into more cards because of Break Sword being able to kill itself, float into 2 level 4s, stuff like that. It's very, very cool. I really like both of these cards. Both of these cards have a lot of really neat interactions, and the fact that the rank up spell is so heavily accessible in the Phantom Knights deck, I think that the cards are going to be too good not to play, honestly, because Dark Requiem is actually just really, really good. Very good. Very good. I cannot express how good that card is for what it is and how minimal of an investment it is. It's very, very easy for you to summon that card simply by just going Break Sword in the Phantom Knights deck. Just summon Break Sword, pop a card, so you've already got an economy there. Your Break Sword floats back into 2/4, you make Dark Rebellion uses its ability there, and then depending on what Phantom Knights you've detached, you literally 2 of the 3 Phantom Knights that you're most commonly played are the ones that search the rank up magic cards. So that's actually really neat. It's really cool. It's a nice little string of plays that's not very resource intensive, and it's also very, very impactful because of what Dark Requiem Xyz Dragon specifically does, negating monster effects, bringing back Xyz monsters, as well as making monsters' attacks 0 and then gaining the original attack. That's all really, really neat, and it's all really, really cool. I really like both of these cards, and I feel like these cards, when they are released, if the Phantom Knight deck is still around, I believe these cards will probably be good enough to play and be an actual competitive staple of the deck, because of, like I said, how easily accessible these cards are and how actual game breaking and game ending they can be. They have a lot of intricacies that you can do with them, and that makes it all really, really good and really solid. I really like both of these cards, and I want to know what you guys think about these cards in the comments down below. As usual, let me know what you guys' opinion on these cards are in the comments down below. Other than that, as always, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe to all the nonsense you usually do. Links are in the description to both of the English proxies of what I made in these videos. If you want to size them and print them out for your own use, that is what they are there for. Other than that, there's just Facebook links and Twitch links. If you want to check those out, feel free to do so. If you want to support me, clicking ads on my videos and disabling ad block when you view my videos is the best way to support me, and it helps me out more than I could ever express, and it would be appreciated more than you would ever know. Keeps me motivated to keep making these videos, so if you guys want to keep seeing content from me that you like that's of this format, you guys know what to do to support me and help make that continue to be a thing, because the more I make from this, the more I'm going to want to not stop, and the more I'm going to want to keep producing more and more, and potentially making my output on days a lot larger as well, considering what my time constraints might be. But anyway, other than that, that's it for this video. As I've already said, thanks for watching, and as always, guys, take care.